How's it going? My name is Miget. Today I want to talk to you about contractile ranges for the bicep and the tricep using resistance bands. I chose bands specifically because they're affordable, they're cheap, you can take them anywhere, so they're very versatile. They're easy on the joints, so if someone has an injury, they're good. If someone's a beginner, they're good. And you can buy these usually in kits. They'll come with one of each band. They come with attachments. They'll usually come with 2 D handles, or however you want to call these. They will usually come with some sort of door anchor, right? I bought some secondary ones. I've already got them posted up here. They just kind of have a fat end. You just put them over the door, under the door, on the side of the door. So the door anchors are really good. They'll also come with an ankle attachment. We'll use this in a little bit to kind of show a variety. Also, I bought this type of attachment. This actually goes around poles. This allows you to go anywhere. So like, for example, I wouldn't use this pipe, but you could go around a pipe and then have this as your anchor point. So like I said, very versatile, and you can get really good results using bands in a very safe way. So biceps and triceps, relatively a small muscle. You don't have to use a lot of weight. A lot of people think that you have to use a lot of weight, but you really don't. Depending on what the goals are, you always want to go through a full contractile range, right? So a lot of times people may stay like in the mid-range of the movement because that's where they're strongest. But for the bicep, a fully shortened bicep is actually up here. A fully lengthened bicep is behind you. So I chose triceps and biceps today because they're an antagonist muscle group. So when a bicep is fully lengthened like this, the tricep will be fully shortened, and vice versa. When the bicep is fully shortened, the tricep will be fully lengthened. It's important to know that because that way you can go through the full contractile range of those muscles. So let's get started. We'll start with biceps today. I like to start in the shortened range. That's where you're weakest. So when you have the most energy, it's best to start there. That way you can really get the most out of it versus being fatigued and waiting to the short range at the end, and you don't have the strength, or your supporting ligaments and muscles can't support that action, then you may not be able to get the most out of it. So for a shortened bicep, you can, let's do this. Using the upper anchor of the door, right? I'm actually going to use the ankle attachment, kind of show you a little variety. I have found that a lot of times when bigger, stronger athletes, when it comes to like the bicep curl, their grip strength and forearms are so strong that they can actually lift and execute the movement and really not even fire the bicep. So while I like the ankle attachment is you can put it on your wrist, right? So you're taking out the grip strength and the forearm strength, and curl like this and getting that bicep completely shortened, right? So depending on rep schemes and sets, that type of discussion would be further down the road with the athlete. But you start here. An external feedback for the coach would to kind of like, I don't know if you saw me, I just had to take a step. So like, it's not very lengthened, like there's nothing there. So I can step away. That's another reason these bands are good. I can step away and make it more tension for the working muscle. An internal feedback, an internal cue for the athlete is starting the movement with activating the working muscle first, right? So here's the bicep. So flex the bicep to move the wrist or the band, right? In regards to degree of freedom, right? For the bicep and tricep, it's really a fulcrum, you know, the elbow joint. You don't want a lot of this like for tricep, later on we'll talk about this, a lot of guys will have a lot of internal, external rotation of the shoulder. Any extra movement from the shoulder and the body will inevitably take away from the working muscle of the bicep or the tricep, right? So once I get set, once I get into position, retract the shoulder blades down, get locked down with your abs, push down through the floor, and just find that natural movement, right, of the joint. Bands are good because they'll move with you, right? A lot of injuries happen from working the bicep or tricep. When it comes to like a barbell, your hands are locked in that fixed position. And if you're coming outside how your joint would want to work, that's gonna cause injuries, right? So again, another reason why I like the bands, it moves with you. So again, that would be the shortened range of the bicep, right? You would then switch arms. Another variety, you can actually kneel down and kind of like come this way with it if you wanted to. Again, it takes that grip strength out, and you can really hit that short end of the bicep really well. Next, I would go to kind of the mid-range of the contractile range of the bicep. For this, as an example, I would just, we could use these handles. And you can just stand on the band. And depending on if you wanted less tension or more tension, depending, you can choose your color, but you can step outward and make it more tension, right? You can just do one foot and make it really loose. You can go one arm, alternate arm, but this would hit the mid-range of the bicep. So you can just sit there, make sure it's even, right? Again, retract the shoulder blades, bring them down, lock the abs, and just find that mid-range, right? Internal cues for the athlete, again, start the movement with that bicep, right? Flex the bicep and contract it up. We don't want to do a chicken wing, right? Degrees of freedom. We don't want to be, a lot of guys with the dumbbells, they'll be doing this. That's more going to be shoulder work and not the actual bicep, or it may be more brachioradialis or the radialis. So again, once you find that lock position, get locked down and just stay there, right? So that's going to be the mid-range of the contractile range for the bicep. Now we could go to lengthened. I guess we could just stick with this red. Go to the lower anchor point of the door. Also, I forgot to mention, the shortened range is going to be very similar to the preacher curl, where you have your elbows on the pad. That's going to be very similar, like how it's outward and elevated. That's going to be your preacher curl. This is going to be very similar to like an incline dumbbell curl. What I would caution the athlete is, a lot of times athletes will be too declined back, right? So their arms are way back here. To start that movement, it's a lot of pressure on the shoulder joint, right? So realistically, if you're seated vertical, you just simply got to be slightly backwards where the arms can be back there to start that movement, right? So again, this is going to be the lengthened. Arms are just kind of slightly back behind the torso, right? Make sure the handles are even with the band. And you're right there. One thing I like to suggest to the athletes, especially on this particular movement, when I go back, I will actually squeeze my tricep, right? That way you know that will be the fully shortened, but you're actually lengthening that bicep completely. Plus, when you combine bicep and tricep work, if you've already worked your tricep today and you're now on bicep, that little extra squeeze of the tricep is really just going to continue to work it. So it's kind of like you're getting a little bit of free workout there. So again, shortened, mid-range, lengthened range, right? Complete contractile range of the bicep. And it's very inexpensive. It's safe. You do it at your home. So now, very similarly, for the triceps as the antagonist muscle group of the bicep, it's very similar. So let's see here, just switch this around. Guess I can stick with that. Always make sure that they're level. For this full contractile range for the tricep, I'll do it really quickly, but you can essentially stay right here in this position. So again, fully shortened tricep, arms back, where the bicep would be lengthened, right? So retract the shoulder blades, lock it down, get it back behind the torso. Again, degrees of freedom. We're not doing this. We're not lock down the shoulders. When that shoulder gets involved, you're not firing the tricep appropriately, right? So we can start here in the shortened position, right? Again, whatever the rep scheme is, you could simply move. Oh, I'm sorry, let me mention this. So notice my arm to the cable. See how that's a 90 degree at the back of the movement, right? As I move forward, okay, I can actually kneel down. Now the 90 is at the start of the movement, right? That's gonna be that mid-range. You're not getting back here, you're staying right there in that mid-range. But with these cables, again, we're not getting the chicken wing, we're not getting that shoulder in there. It's locked down, hitting that mid-range. Simply stand up, turn around. We can hit that lengthened tricep now. Bring it out. Again, the tricep is the antagonist of the bicep. So where we were earlier in this position with the bicep shortened, now the tricep is fully lengthened, right? Again, one piece of equipment with a little bit of movement, you can go through the entire contractile range. I love working with new athletes and novice athletes. I think this is a great foundation to kind of understand their body and how it needs to be kind of locked down and all those motor learning skills. I think it's very important. So today we talked about the bicep, the tricep, contractile range. Bands are inexpensive, versatile, you can take them anywhere. You can have a full workout of arms as I showed in one 5-foot space. So hope you enjoy the video and thank you.